So this video is going to be about our 2023. So it was a bit of a doozy, and by that I mean it was the most horrible year of our lives. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It was awful. It was very dark. We were not in a good place. Yeah, I mean, perspective is everything, but for us personally, it was pretty catastrophic and devastating. So on that note, let's jump right in. Hello and welcome here. I'm just so excited because I haven't been making videos and I love it. And that's why I'm here. And that is what the break was so good for, because in the break I was like, okay, I'm either going to never want to make videos again, or it's going to have the opposite effect and just make me really excited to make videos. So luckily it was the second one. And yeah, it started in January. Billy, my husband, lost his job, and if you didn't know, we moved to New Zealand for that job. And so when he lost it, it was also our sole income. The music world is a very strange place. It's really hard to get a job in the first place, and then it's also just this weird thing where there's just not a lot of opportunities. For him to get a job, there has to be an opening, and there's only 4 spots in any orchestra, and for it to pay enough, there's a lot involved in it. There were no opportunities for us in New Zealand for him to get that kind of job over there. So we knew that we had to go back to the States. Unfortunately, that's all that we knew. So in January, we started packing up our lives. We just started trying to sell everything. Also, in the midst of all this, I had a baby. It was completely overshadowed from the stress of everything that was happening, but I had my baby and it was a very beautiful experience. I am so glad that I had her, but also that I could have her in New Zealand. That was just such a special experience. Like I was saying, it was kind of just overshadowed by everything else that was going on. I was just so stressed out about, even the fact that we were having 2 kids and we didn't have a job and we didn't have a home and we didn't have anything to our name really. So yeah, we started collecting ourselves and getting ready to move, but we were also just trying to soak up as much as New Zealand as we could, just going to a lot of beaches and just trying to make the most of our time that we had left there. February, we had our completely traumatic and hellish move back to the States. I made a whole story time video about this, so I'm not going to go into the details, but just know that it was horrible for everybody involved, all of us and anybody that was in proximity to us, but eventually we made it, and then it was so nice being able to see family again. As soon as we landed, Billy started taking auditions all over the country. So he had 5 signed up for and lined up. But again, with the music world, it's just so hard because you have to fly to all these individual places, which is pretty expensive. And then you have to go through this really stressful event of auditioning, and you just have to be the lucky one, and you have to be skilled and talented enough to actually win that one spot. We had no idea how long to expect for this process to actually win us a job. Honestly, we were kind of thinking it might take about a year. We kept going back and forth on should he try to get a random job to kind of bring in some money. We were just floating around at this point with all of our family members and friends. For a while, we every 2 weeks were moving to a different location. We were in a friend's basement. We were at my sister-in-law's house. We were flying to Texas to stay with my family for a bit, and then a different sister-in-law's house. And it was just, it was a lot, and it was really hard. I'm not going to lie. Because also keep in mind, everything that we owned, we were carrying with us. All of our kitchen stuff, everything that we brought from New Zealand, it came with us, including this, this little 2-month-old baby and this toddler, and we're just, it was a lot. It was not a good time. In March, we were just really trying to enjoy the snow, enjoy Utah, enjoy seeing our family, and it was really good for all of that stuff, and we were just trying to make the most of it because, again, we were just in this limbo hell, and we had no end in sight. We had no idea what to do. The uncertainty was driving us crazy, trying to be present and live in the moment and enjoy what we had in front of us. At this point, we were squatting in my sister-in-law's empty house because they happened to just move, and so we were very lucky to be able to have a place to our own for the first time in a long time. It's there was no furniture in the place, but we had our own privacy, which can be very wearing to not have for a very long time, especially when you're in the throes of early postpartum, 2 small children. Privacy and your own space is just such a beautiful thing. This might not seem like a big deal to a lot of people, but this is when I started working out again, and it was transformative. It just gave me something to look forward to. It made me feel a lot better, and it gave me something to kind of latch onto to help me get through this rough time. So in the craziness of all this is when Billy took his first audition in Vancouver. He'd taken a couple already in other places and didn't win. He flew to Vancouver and took the first one, and he didn't even advance, and he didn't have a good experience. He didn't think he wanted to even come back for the second audition in Vancouver, but he had already bought his plane ticket, and so he was like, well, okay, I'll come back. So fast forward 2 weeks later, he flies again to Vancouver, and then he actually wins that audition, which is just crazy. I remember that phone call, like every second of it. It was that crazy thing of like doing phone tag, and then I finally got a hold of him, and then he tells me that he won, and I just started sobbing. Like, it was just such a crazy relief, and it was just so exciting, but also now what? But it was just really nice to have a direction that we were going in life again. And so yeah, then jumping forward to April and May, I'm gonna lump these together. At this point, we moved into our friend's basement, and I say friends now, but we had never met them before. They were our sister's friends, and through the kindness and generosity of their hearts, they invited us to live in their basement when they heard about our situation. And this is when I truly learned the generosity and kindness of people's hearts. Like, it just kept coming up again and again and again, because I just felt horrible. Like, I felt like such a bum. We were just living off of charity pretty much, and it was just a really, really hard time to have to like swallow your pride and basically ask for help. I mean, there were just so many times when we wouldn't even ask for help. People would just extend the invitation themselves, and it makes me want to cry right now, but it is just so overwhelmingly beautiful. And again, it was just shown over and over by so many people in our lives, and it makes me love humanity. During this time, it was just such a weird moment of peace and calm through all of this chaos, because our friends, they're again just the most generous people, but they have such a lovely home. They also had a toddler, and they also only had one kitchen, but basically every day we would be up and just playing with their toddler and kind of hanging out with them, and we would cook them meals. They just had a beautiful neighborhood, and we were just getting outside every day. It was also springtime, so the weather was nice, and I don't know, it was just this rare moment in life where we had literally nothing else going on, and so we were just so incredibly present. And so even now, when I look back on that time, I'm like, that was so beautiful. Basking in the kindness of friends and family and the beautiful weather, and it's unbeatable. So it's at this time also that my friend that we were living with, she is really into weightlifting, and so she introduced me to it. And I had never done it before, and so she showed me the ropes on how to do it all. I still to this day love weightlifting. It is still my escape from reality. I don't know, I can make whole videos about this, but I won't. In June, we packed up our car. So again, we did what we thought was like the final pack up, and then we had this whole crazy trip planned. We were going to drive over to LA because I had a sister-in-law living there, and we were going to do a fun little vacation there, and then we were going to make our way up the entire West Coast up to Vancouver. We had a whole ton of camping and hiking and adventuring planned, but when we got to LA, unfortunately, something very traumatic happened. It was a singular event, and it was awful, and it completely derailed everything that we had planned. But then also, we just weren't in a good headspace. Like, we were making it. We were making do, and then that happened, and it just completely spiraled us. We couldn't make decisions anymore, and it was over. So we made the decision to actually go back to Utah. We stayed in our friend's basement for another little while, which again, I felt awful for, because I'm like, you guys have given us so much, but here we are asking for more. They're the ones that invited us to come back when they heard about what happened, and they're like, you are not in a good place to go camping up the whole coast. Like, just come back, decompress for a little bit, and then just get up to Vancouver. So that's what we did. We nixed all of our plans. We actually ended up going a totally different route. We went through Idaho and visited a different sister-in-law, and then we just made it quickly up to Vancouver. So now we're in July. We get to Vancouver, and we got an Airbnb for a month. This is such a strange time, because the whole year was catching up to us. We kept trying to just not deal with it, and then I feel like once we got here, it felt like it was supposed to be the finish line, but then when we did arrive, it was like, oh, this is actually just the beginning. So it was very defeating in that sense, and it just felt very unwelcoming. Like, we got here and realized that we didn't know a single person here. Like, nobody was here to greet us. You just expect to cross the finish line and there to be cheering and people in your corner cheering you on, and it's just like cricket. So yeah, we got settled in our Airbnb, and then it's just that thing of like, this is a very temporary situation, so we didn't want to unpack, we didn't want to settle in, but we were also so desperate to settle in because it had been such a crazy time that I kind of did. And it was also kind of the first time where I was like, okay, we need to start kind of processing this whole last year. So it got very dark. Billy also started working at this point, point, and so I was like at home in this weird place where I didn't know anybody. I didn't have anything to do, but I was stuck at home with these two little children that needed a lot of attention and time and love. Kind of really awful. I did not love Vancouver yet. Another thing that was going on through all this is we were touring apartments, which is god awful. Let me tell you, finding a place to live in Vancouver is one of the hardest things you could ever do in your life. One of the big obstacles is it's really expensive. So to try to find something that is in our budget was really hard. But then literally we were spending hours every single day messaging all of these places. And I'm not even joking. A lot of them would email back right away and be like, you can't live here because you have children. Somehow, through a lot of luck and good circumstances, we ended up finding the place that we're in now. So we live in a basement apartment. So the family lives above and they have two children, which is why I think that they wanted specifically to give this place to a family with small children because they know how hard it is. So we moved in and it was just such a relief. We very quickly started making this place a home, and then it was also this time that we really started being able to kind of explore Vancouver. We started hiking and swimming and camping. Through doing all of these things, I started falling in love with Vancouver hard. So up to this point was a lot. There was a lot going on at any given moment, a lot of chaos, a lot of horribleness, but also some goodness sprinkled in. But this is kind of when the year starts to turn a little more normal and boring, and I use that word in the most beautiful sense possible. Yeah, in September, some of the highlights, I got to hike to Garibaldi Lake with my friend, and I carried Clara on my back, and it was so beautiful, like stunning, and it just made me so excited. I just wanted to go hiking all the time and camping, and I really wanted to explore a lot more of Vancouver. Billy also got to hike to Black Tusk, which was a highlight for him. I also decided that for my mental sake and for the benefit of my children, I wanted to get outside every single day. And I have pretty much been able to do that. It's also made me excited for next year. I want to try the 1,000 hours outside challenge, so we'll see how that goes. This is obviously our first fall in Vancouver, and I was blown away by how beautiful it was. More so the fact of how long it lasted. Like, I could not believe the trees turned red and gold, and I'm like, you know, I've seen this before. It's beautiful, and I absolutely loved it. But most places it lasts like 2 or 3 weeks. Here, I feel like it lasted like 2 months, and I could not get over it. We got to ride the gondola up, and it was just beautiful. Everything that we did was just absolutely stunning. We also experienced Canadian Thanksgiving for the first time. We ended up camping with a group of friends, and I cannot tell you, it was like an unreal experience. Again, like this whole time, I'm just so used to taking care of my children and us just being like a really tight unit and not getting a lot of support or help. But when we did this camping trip, I was just like blown away with the fact that other people were taking my children and I could go do something without them. It's like I went paddleboarding without them, or just these small moments of him going to like chop wood with our friends, and I got to sit there without my toddler, and I was like, what is this? I don't know what to do with myself. October, some of the highlights, just a lot of Halloween things. We had a lot of fun making crafts, lots of pumpkin things, hiking, more hiking. And then we also did Halloween, which this was the most fun Halloween of my life, because finally William is at the age where he got really excited about Halloween. So he ended up being Darth Vader because that's what he chose. He was obsessed, like so into all of the decorations. He was more into looking at every little detail of decorations at people's houses than the candy. And it was just so cute watching him go up and, you know, yell trick or treat and like pick out the candy and get so excited. He had one lollipop the entire night. I'm just so much more interested in holidays now because of how excited he got. So now it is December. We're a few days away from Christmas, and it's just been a really fun month. The weather has actually been really nice. Like, people tell me that it's supposed to be raining a whole bunch here in Vancouver, but it's been pretty dry. So it's been really nice to kind of go out and get outside every day. We had this block party because our neighborhood is so cool. There are a ton of kids around. I don't know how we got so lucky to end up in this neighborhood. The fire truck totally upstaged Santa. But we've just been having a ton of Christmas fun. We got a Christmas tree, lots of Christmas baking, Christmas crafts. Again, William is just so excited about everything to do with Christmas, and I didn't think I was gonna do Santa with him because I'm such a Scrooge, and I mentioned it once. I was like, oh, William, do you think Santa's gonna come and bring presents? And he was like so excited about it, and I was like, okay, I guess we're doing Santa. And it's so cute, and I understand now why people do Santa with their kids. It's just fun. So anyways, yeah, around this time I have learned that I am addicted to thrift shopping. The moment that my addiction started is when I realized that I could walk to the thrift store. So once a week, usually on Saturday, I put Clara in the stroller during her nap time. I'm like, oh, I'm getting Clara to take a nap. But I go thrift shopping and it's a lot of fun. It's a really good thrift store. So that's the summary of our year. For better or worse, we got through it. And I feel like I've learned some little like life lessons throughout all of this. So I'll read through them because I wrote them in my notes. Finding joy in the simple things and living in the moment. Like, I have never been more present in my life, especially throughout everything. It was the only thing that kept me sane a lot of the times. So I learned that skill and I'm forever grateful for it. A lot of joy can be found in routines, and I don't think I'll ever take them for granted again. Like, I know being stuck in routines can be crazy making for some people, but I love it. I will never take it for granted again. That whole thing with humans caring for humans. I have never been the recipient of so much generosity and kindness and love, and just unconditional love as well. Just open arms repeatedly when I felt so useless and worthless, and I will never be able to forget it. And also I feel like in turn that has made me a much more generous and caring and kind person as well, because I just want to give as much as I have been given. And another huge lesson that I've learned is that I can get through hard things. Like, I knew that, but it shows that you can get through everything. No matter how hard it is, you can get to the other side of it eventually. Another thing that it has shown me is that the human condition is to like never be satisfied, unfortunately. So it's like, even when we do kind of get everything that we wish for, we're going to start wishing for other things. I like being on this side of it because I feel like I can see it and recognize it now. Even now, sitting here after everything I've been through, and now that we have so much, I'm still have a wish list, you know, like I have things that I hope for and wish for in the future. So I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but it is what it is. Anyways, that is it. That's everything that I have for this year. Thank you so much for being here with me through all of this, through all the ups and downs. Oh, it's been a lot of craziness, but honestly, I'm so glad that I've had this channel and all of you. First of all, because I have been met with nothing but like unconditional kindness from everybody on this platform. I know a lot of people can kind of have a lot of negative people commenting and things, but I've just had the most supportive people on here, and it's a beautiful thing. But the other thing too that I really love about YouTube, it just gives me kind of a sense of purpose. It's like, even through all of the chaos that happened, I knew that I had this to look forward to. Like, I genuinely love making videos, and it just kind of gave me a reason to kind of keep showing up for myself, because it was at least once a week where I was like, you know, I need to kind of put myself together. I need to have something external from everything that's happening. Yeah, it just gave me a lot of purpose through all of it, and for that I will be forever grateful. Anyways, I am hoping that 2024 is a year of growth and boring. I don't want anything crazy to happen. I don't want any big life events. I just want to keep falling in love with Vancouver. I want to keep doing the things that bring me joy and happiness, and just keep building community and see where life goes. But thank you so much for being here, and I will see you guys next year. Bye!